Hi, and welcome to today's 4-Minute Mark. Mark chapter 11, starting at verse 27 is where we are today. They arrived again in Jerusalem, and while Jesus was walking in the temple courts, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders came to him. "By what authority are you doing these things?" they asked, "and who gave you authority to do this?" Jesus replied, "I will ask you one question. Answer me, and I will tell you by what authority I am doing these things. John's baptism, was it from heaven or from men? Tell me." They discussed it among themselves and said, "If we say from heaven, he will say, 'Then why didn't you believe him?' But if we say from men," they feared the people, for everyone held that John was a prophet. So they answered Jesus, "We don't know." Jesus said, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I am doing these things." What are these things that the Pharisees, or the teachers of the law rather, and the chief priests and the elders, and Pharisees would be among those camps. But what are these things that they want to know? What authority do you have to do this, Jesus? Well, remember, Jesus the day before had walked through the temple and overturned the tables of those that were selling things in the temple, told them they were all wrong, told them they were a den of robbers. What authority do you have to do this? And notice the courage of Jesus again here. The day after he did this, he goes back to the temple and walks through the temple. I mean, if I were Jesus, I would have given the temple a wide berth, but Jesus knows that his time has come to confront the Jewish authorities, and he's there. He's walking through the temple again, and so the Jewish authorities say, "What authority do you have, Jesus, to come in here and mess up our ministry and overturn everything, and what authority do you have to say the things that you do? What authority are you doing this by?" Jesus doesn't say from God. Now he does in some other Gospels, because this isn't the first time Jesus was asked this kind of question. But anyways, here Jesus says, "I'm not going to tell you unless you tell me by what authority did John the Baptist do the things that he did. Was it given to him by heaven? Was he on a mission from heaven? Or is he was just popular among people, that people backing him gave him the authority to do what he did? So just tell me." And they can't. Now why does Jesus not come right out and say he's from God here? Because Jesus is basically telling the Jewish leaders through this, you know when someone's from God or not. You really do. You want to fight against that because of your positions, but you know when someone's from God. You know that John was from God. So the Jewish leaders go, "But if we say John was from God, Jesus is going to say, 'Why don't you believe him then? Why didn't you believe him?'" And of course, that's the whole point that Jesus is making. You know somebody is from God, and yet you refuse to believe him. But if we say that John's authority only came from men, and they're looking around because there's probably a crowd. Jesus always drew a crowd, and they're going, then all these people are going to turn on us because they thought John was a prophet. Isn't it interesting that the common people knew and acknowledged who John was, and the religious leaders would not? The first shall be last, remember, and the last shall be first. Here's an example of it. So we have seen that the Jewish leaders oppose Jesus because they're afraid of losing their position of authority, and here we see their fear again on display. They won't answer Jesus, and so Jesus says, "Well, you won't answer me, I'm not going to answer you." Okay, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.